Welcome, my name is Emily and this is 108 Stitches, which is a mostly knitting video podcast. Sometimes I will talk about some other crafting that I'm up to. I actually have quite a bit of other crafting today. I've got some weaving to talk about. I've got some sewing to talk about. Sneak peek. I may be wearing a sewing finished object. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. This is episode 43. Today is Tuesday, May 17th. Yesterday was my brother's birthday, so happy birthday, Ben. And he's actually coming to visit me. I am going to see him in a few hours, so I can't wait for that. But okay, what else do I normally say here? Again, my name is Emily. I live in Seattle, Washington with my husband Nafis and our pup Norman, who sometimes will make an appearance on the podcast. Today he seems pretty cozy down in his bed, so I don't think we'll be getting an appearance from Norman today. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. I have some different and like fun stuff to share today. I have some stuff that I've been really excited about that I don't know, I can't wait to share with you all. And some different stuff, I guess. Like I talked about the weaving and the sewing and just stuff that isn't my usual. So I don't know, I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of that. Although I will say, like, knitting for sure is my favorite craft. So I think when I'm doing it, I don't get as much enjoyment out of like sewing or weaving or anything else, but it is fun to just like have a little bit of a change of pace. So I have a couple different stuff. Different things to talk about. I feel like I had other stuff I was going to say at the beginning here, but I don't know, I'm forgetting now, I guess. Hopefully I can lock in and my brain is, I'll have a good functional mind for this episode, but yeah, I guess let's just go ahead and get into the crafting. So I have three finished objects to share with you all this week. This one you all may have already seen on Instagram. This was the secret that I was working on last week that I couldn't share with you all, but this is the DRK Striae hat, which is a new hat pattern by Andrea Mowry. And the reason I could not share it last week was because this pattern was not yet released. So I got to knit it a little bit early because the yarn for this hat is Ampersand, which is the in-house yarn at La Mercerie, which is the yarn store that I work at. And we got the pattern a little bit early so that we could like knit up a sample or whatever for the shop. So I knit up a sample of the hat and it was just such a dream to knit. It knit up so quickly, and the yarn, this was my first time actually using Ampersand, and I love it. I could not love this yarn more. It just was so fun to knit with. It's a 100% Corduroy yarn, and it is completely milled, spun, dyed, everything in the US, all by women-owned businesses. So that's really fun as well. And I also really love, I think I may have talked about this last time, but I really love the way that the coloring works. Jess, the owner of Ampersand and La Mercerie, just did such an incredible job with the colors. So there's like a whole line of grays, which are all natural colors from light dark to, From light gray to dark gray. So starting at like Grisaille, I think I'm saying this right, but the lightest one is like a white, is Grisaille 00. And then this one is Grisaille 01. There's Grisaille 02, which is a darker gray, Grisaille 03, which is an even darker gray, and Grisaille 04, which is the darkest gray. And then she has these colors dyed on top of each of the gray bases. So the same color, like the same dye, is used on top of the like different gray bases, and so it makes different colors. So it's like there's like a light yellow and then a darker yellow and even darker yellow. Anyway, it's just really cool the way that the colors come together. And so you can tell based on how they're numbered which like gray base they're dyed on top of. So I used Grisaille 01 for the main color here, And the contrast color, this yellow, is Ochre 02. So it's the second yellow. And I just love this color combination. I think, yeah, this like Grisaille 01 is just the perfect neutral. I love this color. Excuse me. I can put the hat on. I made, oh, it's just so cute and like slouchy. Here, I can turn to the side so you guys can see it a little bit and you can see the back. Just really cute. I made the size medium. I actually, at first, I cast on the size small, and then it looked like it was going to be too small. So I pulled it out, and I redid the tubular cast on, and then I did a medium. It comes in 3 sizes, a small, medium, large, and it is knit. This is the Ampersand fingering weight, which is Caslon is the name of the base, and the pattern calls for a US size 2 needle, and I did use a US size 2 needle. I did not actually use Swatch. I normally don't for small projects like socks or hats. I'll just go for it and hope that it works out, and it worked out this time. And the hat starts out with the tubular cast on, and then you do 1x1 rib for a while, and then go into half fisherman's rib, which is the same. You all may notice, if you are familiar with this pattern, this is a similar, like the same yarn, gauge, and stitch pattern as the Striae cardigan, which was also a pattern by Andrea Mowry that she released last year. So if you knit that and you have leftovers, this is perfect for that. Andrea actually did hers with like 4 different contrast colors, the same as her Striae cardigan. So it's really fun. She also used Grisaille 01 as the main color, and then it has like a yellow, a pink, a blue, and a green maybe, or does it have, I don't remember which ones, maybe no blue, and it has red instead. I don't remember the exact colors, but you can go check out her pattern photos and see the colors that she used. But this is great since it's fingering weight yarn, like any minis that you have if you want to do different colored stripes, or just like, you know, fingering weight yarn that you have. I feel like that's most of what I have in my stash, is just like little bits, either minis or leftovers or single skeins of fingering weight yarn. So like this is a great hat to use all that stuff up. So anyway, that's what I was working on. The pattern was released today, Tuesday. That is the day that I am recording, but this probably won't get posted until tomorrow and Wednesday. So should definitely be out by the time you're watching this. Well, yeah, I know that because it's already out right now. So the pattern is out, and yeah, I mean, I personally think you should get some Ampersand yarn and knit it. Oh, the other thing is that Andrea Mowry is doing a weekend knit-along. So this is her spring knit-along. Each year she does one in the spring and one in the fall. The spring one is a hat knit-along, and it's over a weekend, like a long weekend. It's just like, can you knit a hat in a weekend? So it's like a fun kind of like challenge. And then in the fall she does one for a pair of socks. So this is the hat spring weekend knit along. I don't remember exactly what the knit along is called, but this is the pattern that she's using for that, and it is going to be next weekend, I believe, like this upcoming weekend. So definitely grab your yarn, and yeah, hopefully you guys will like this pattern as much as I did. So this is the Striae hat. I can zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. I'm not sure if it'll focus. Here it goes. That's what it looks like. Really nice and squishy. And a super quick and fun knit. So would highly recommend the Striae hat. Okay, my next finished object is something I'm wearing. I sewed, again, so this is actually the first sewing pattern that I have ever repeated. Actually, that's not true. I did some bento bags I've done multiple of, but I made a pair of Miller trousers. The pattern is by Paper Theory a while ago, maybe a year ago or more, and I really liked them. I liked the fit, and I thought they were like really easy to sew, and I haven't been sewing for very long. Well, I don't know. I guess at this point I've probably been sewing for over a year, but I've only sewed like it feels like 5 or 6 things, if that. Like, I'm definitely newer in my sewing journey. Anyway, I had trouble just, I don't know, I'm still early in it, and so it doesn't come super naturally at this point. So I have to, like, I mess up a lot more, and I have to take a lot more time and effort. And sewing just, I don't know, as a craft, I think requires a different kind of focus than knitting does. And maybe that's because in my knitting, you know, experience, I'm much farther along, and so it's much more relaxed and natural for me. And maybe some point I'll get that way with sewing as well, but definitely not there now. Anyway, I had a lot of success when I sewed this pattern before. I sewed the Miller trousers before, and so I decided I wanted to sew up another pair. And my last one I used some, it's kind of like a beige linen that I got from Blackbird Fabrics, which is an online fabric store. But I wanted to make a pair of corduroy pants because I really love corduroy. So I bought some, this is, I think, Kaufman corduroy from fabric.com. The color is charcoal. It's like a nice gray color. And I keep wanting to say knit. I sewed the same size that I did last time, which is the size 10. I think it's the 3rd size maybe in the pattern. And I, again, sewed option B, I think it's option B. It's the one with the elastic waistband. I did not do like a actual waistband here. I just did the elastic waistband. And like last time, it's not perfect. There are definitely some mistakes. I have some like little bunches here along the waistband. I have not finished all my seams on the inside. And I don't know if you guys will be able to notice this, but I'm going to stand up. Maybe on screen you won't be able to tell, but can you tell a difference between these two sides at all? Maybe I can show you the back as well. Can you tell a difference on these two sides? So I had never thought about this, especially with woven fabric, but with corduroy, there's another aspect to think about when you're cutting out the fabric. So with linen, it wasn't a big deal. Like, as long as you have the grain line going a certain way, you cut out your fabric pieces and you sew them up, and it's not a problem. With corduroy, I did not think that there's kind of like, if you rub your hands on corduroy, there's kind of like a direction, like you're kind of going with the fabric and against the fabric based on the direction you're kind of like rubbing it. It didn't occur to me that I would need to make sure that all of my pattern pieces that I cut out of the fabric have the corduroy going the same way. So to save space and to like have more fabric left over, I cut my fabric efficiently by like doing some pieces one way and some pieces the other way. Still lining up the grain line. I don't know if this makes any sense, but basically, if you are rubbing the fabric here, this one, if you rub down, it feels like it's going down properly. And this one, if you rub up, it feels like it's, I don't know if this makes sense to anyone at all, but in the camera you can't tell very well, but if you're looking at it in person, especially like depending on the angle and the light, you can tell, like they look different. So I feel like, sorry, I should probably sit down so that you guys can see my face while I'm talking. I feel like I'm wearing clown pants. Like, I don't know if these are actually a thing. I'm gonna try to find a picture of like what I'm imagining in my head, and I'll show it to you. But I'm imagining like my pants are split into 4 quadrants, and I'm wearing like clown pants. I don't know. Maybe like, I'm sure people probably wouldn't notice, but it feels to me like clown pants. But you know what? I have learned that now, that that's something you have to pay attention to with corduroy, and I will pay attention to that next time. But otherwise, I'm really happy with them. One of the things I love about this pattern are the pockets. The pockets are really nice and big. I can't really take them out and show you, but you can see how far my hands go in here. It has these really nice, like, kind of like pleat things. Oh, it's not focusing on me. There we go. Has these really nice like pleat things on the front, and then there are little like butt darts on the back. which is fun. Yeah. And those are my Miller trousers. I guess I can, with my first pair, I think it was the thumbnail of the video is me standing on the couch so that you guys can see them. So here they are. These ones are probably harder to see since they're dark gray, so you can't really see them very well, but these are my second pair of Miller trousers. It's funny, I actually bought the fabric and was planning on making these when I still worked for the Mariners, like when I worked in an office. I was like, these are going to be great office pants because they're like dark but also comfortable, and corduroy is like seems like a good work fabric. I don't know. And I don't work in an office anymore, but they will still be comfortable, and I can wear them to the yarn store, or I can wear them at home, or like out on errands or whatever, and they'll still be nice and good. So yeah, I don't know, like, you know, I'm not a pro at sewing, so I don't know what things, like, it's good for me to say here, like what things I can say that would be useful for you all. But I will just say I'm happy to have the finished object. This was kind of part of my Me Made May goal, which was to sew 3 things in the month of May. I do not know if I'll make it to 3 things. I think I can maybe make it, I can sew 2 things, but I don't know if I'll make it to 3 because this pair of pants took me longer than I expected. But, oh, the other thing I wanted to share about this, I think I talked about this last time, is that my sister, who's also coming to visit, she'll be here on Thursday, is sewing the Miller trousers as well. She's doing, I think, like a gray linen pair, and we've been kind of doing a sew along, not at exactly the same times, but like we'll sew up to similar parts of the pattern and like share our progress and everything. And I finished mine today, and she said she's going to finish hers, I think, tomorrow or the next day, and then she's going to bring them when she comes here on Thursday, and we can wear our pants together and like take pictures. I don't know, I feel like it'll be cute. So yeah, I can't wait to see her pants as well. And yeah, I feel like that's enough sewing that I've talked about. So let's move on to another craft. So, okay. Next up, this is not a complete finished object. This is more like a partial finished object, or not even partial. It's almost like a swatch. So a while ago, I talked about this idea I had to make a Pendleton style blanket. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can try to put a picture up on the screen. But I remember, honestly, the first place I remember seeing these blankets was in like gift shops at National Park. Like National Park gift shops. And I know now Pendleton has like a National Parks line of blankets, but I just loved these, like, they're these beautiful, like, wool felted blankets that have stripes on them. And so, like, it's a big rectangle or square or whatever, and it has stripes, like mirrored stripes on each end. So there's kind of like a main color, and then there's some stripes at the top and some stripes at the bottom. Anyway, I had this idea that I thought I could make one. So for a couple reasons I want to do this. One is, like, I love the blankets and I would love to have one, but they're pretty expensive. And 2, you know, I just thought it would be a fun use of my crafting and like weaving time. I just thought it would be like a cool thing to make. And so I bought some yarn. I got a ton of Knit Picks palette. And I think I shared this like whenever the yarn arrived. I bought a ton of Knit Picks palette, which is a fingering weight, non-superwash yarn. It's super like cost effective, very inexpensive. It is, I think, $4.50 a ball. For each ball comes with, it's a 50-gram ball, so 230 yards. So, you know, normally if you think of yarn coming in like 100-gram skeins and is roughly like $30 a skein, this is like a third of that per weight. So really nice. I had to make sure that I had non-superwash yarn because I want to felt it. And yeah, I want to do fingering weight yarn as well, because I was worried if I wove a blanket with like DK or worsted weight yarn and then I felted it, that it would just become really thick and heavy. So I wanted to do fingering weight yarn as well for that reason. So I bought 10 balls of this for the main color. So this color is Oyster Heather. And then I bought some contrast colors. I had in my head the idea to do kind of like retro primary colors. So I had these two blues that I really liked, and then I picked out this yellow and also this red color. I also bought an orange that I didn't love, so I left the orange out. I think I wrote down the names of these colors if anyone is interested. This one is navy, this one is Ciel, this one is turmeric, and this one is garnet heather. So these are the colors I picked out. This ball looks a little bit messy because Norman got into it a while ago. So yeah, anyway, my plan is, I haven't done it yet. I did the test, but my plan is to weave. So I have sorry, I need to take a step back. I have a 15-inch Cricut loom. It's a rigid heddle loom. These are not words that make a ton of sense to me. I'm not super knowledgeable or like comfortable with weaving either. So I'm really just coming at you here with things that I don't really know what I'm talking about. But I do have a Cricut loom that I got for Christmas, like, I don't know, 6 years ago or something. I've woven a couple things on it. I've done some like scarves, but I had the idea that I could weave these long panels because it's only 15 inches wide, so I can't weave the whole blanket on it. But I could weave these panels and then I could seam them together and then felt them. So before I got started, I wanted to do a test panel for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to test like the shrinkage. So I wanted to weave a square and then felt it and see how much it shrank so that I can know like how big I have to make the blanket before felting it so that I get the final blanket size that I'm happy with. So I did that. That's one reason. The other reason is I wanted to see like how thick the blanket was with the fingering weight yarn. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too thin, that it wasn't too thick. I wanted to make sure that the colors didn't bleed when I felted it. And I just wanted to, in general, like see how to, like, I had never felted anything before on purpose, so I wanted to make sure that I could felt it properly and that would work out, and I'd like the fabric, and in general, I just wanted to, like, do a test run, a trial run, because this was very, like, new to me, so I wanted to see, like, how it was going to work out. So I wove up, I also wanted to, like, try the stripes, and, like, the stripe order, the color order, to see how I liked that, so I did that as well. So I wove up this like little rectangle, and I can put a picture of it on the screen here pre-felting. I wove up this little rectangle with my stripes in it as well, and then I felted it. And I did not read a ton or think a lot about how to felt it. The reason is because I feel like I've been warned my whole knitting life, like, be careful, if you do this or that or whatever, it will felt. And it just seemed like felting was just, you know, very natural. Like if I don't purposefully try to take care of it, if I just do what my instinct tells me to do, it's gonna felt, right? Because like I've been warned against felting for so long. I was like, this should be easy to do. Like, not a problem at all. Like if I just mess up, I'm gonna felt it. So I thought, okay, what's natural for me to do? And basically I just washed it in my washing machine and put it in the dryer. So I washed it with a load of towels and with warm water, and then I put it in the dryer with those towels on like warm, like high heat, and it worked. It definitely felted. And I have it here, and I'm excited to show it to you. So this is my little test square. So the whole warp, which is, for those of you who are not familiar with weaving, me either, but I'll try to tell you the very basic things that I know. But basically, if you think about like woven fabric, right, there's going to be a whole bunch of strands going this way, and there's going to be strands going this way as well. So when you set up your loom, all the strands going long ways are called the warp. And then when you weave back and forth, and you're making the weft. Someone should correct me if I'm wrong, or like if I got this backwards, or if I don't know what I'm talking about, for sure, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. So I did the whole warp in this beige color, Oyster Heather. And then I did the weft, mostly in Oyster Heather, but then I striped in these 4 striped colors I have. So this is the navy, turmeric, ciel, and garnet heather. And then I felted it. And let me give you a little bit of a close-up so you can see what it looks like. So you can definitely tell that it's felted, especially like if you look at, this was like yarn ends, like normal fringe. So you can definitely tell that it felted. It also shrunk quite a bit. Something that I, like an unintended thing that I really love is that there are parts where you can kind of see the warp peek through. So like if you look at these stripes, there are like little white bits, and the way that they're kind of like slanted, in some places they look like mountains to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. And like here, let me wiggle it for you so you can see how the fabric feels. I don't know. I wish you could feel it for sure, but it feels really good. I really like the way that it feels. I don't know. I'm just really, really happy with it. So it started out, the square that I wove before felting was 10.5 by 9 inches, not including the fringe. And now it's 9 by 7.5 inches. So it shrunk, I don't know, I don't have the percent or anything here, but it shrunk quite a bit. So I'll have to think about that, factor that in when I'm weaving my panels, but I'm like obsessed with this. I don't know, I just love it. I think this is so cool, and I'm so excited at the prospect of doing this, and I don't know, like, it's probably not that inventive of an idea, but you know, I don't have a pattern. I'm not very experienced at weaving. This was just like a weird idea that I had that I'm like trying to execute on, and I don't know, it feels kind of cool. Like, it's actually working out, and I'm proud of it. I don't know, I feel proud that I did this, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just really excited to have the finished blanket. I also have this idea that I'm gonna make this blanket, and it's gonna be kind of like I don't know, I make lots of stuff, but this just feels more like an heirloom piece, like the kind of thing that you make this beautiful, large, woven wool blanket, and then like that's the kind of thing that you like pass on, you know? And so I've been thinking about like making these blankets as these like heirloom pieces for other people in my life that are important to me, like family members or, you know, or friends that, I don't know, it's going to take a lot of time and energy, and so maybe I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself, but like I'm imagining a lot of people I know in the sewing world do wedding quilts. They'll make a beautiful quilt for people in their lives that are getting married. So like, what if I made wedding Pendleton blankets? I don't know, for like my close family and friends if they get married, or I don't know. I'm just proud of it. So that is my Pendleton test square. I really wish you guys could feel it. It feels really good. And I think the fabric is exactly the like feeling and drapiness that I would have wanted. So yeah. Yeah, so I haven't even finished or even started this blanket yet, and I'm already planning to like make, I don't know how many of them. But I think it would be cool too to like, let's say I make one for someone else and it's like a very similar blanket, but it just has like different colors, and then those colors are like unique to the people that I give them to. I don't know. Like, these are my colors. You guys know I love yellow, blue, and dark red. This just feels very much like me. And like, I think it would be really cool to make them for someone else with their colors. And I don't know, it's like not that expensive of a project because the yarn is so affordable. So I don't know. Anyway, that's my progress on my Pendleton blanket. I don't know when I'm gonna get started on the weaving. I need to do some planning. I need to think through like how big I want it to be. And then hopefully I have enough yarn. I bought 10 balls of this one and I don't know if that's enough or not. So hopefully it is. If not, I can just order more. But yeah, that is my last kind of finished object. I have a ton of other things that are in progress, but I have only worked on one. I've been actually really focused and monogamous, if you will, with one project. And I told you all last time I wanted to finish the raglan on this sweater before I next recorded, and I did. Now, I was certainly cutting it close because I did finish this morning, like a couple of hours ago. I also finished these pants today, so I am certainly, not super ahead of the game, but I did finish. This is my Birch raglan, my Birch pullover, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, because this is a big Andrea Mowry podcast episode. The yarn is Autumn and Indigo Classic Sport, and the colorway is Lomah. And I love this yellow. The more that I look at it, the more I'm obsessed with it. It's just like so beautiful. It's like not quite mustard, but not quite like primary yellow or like bright yellow or pastel yellow. It's just like, I don't know. It just feels really like a really good color. And I think it'll be a really nice and wearable color as well. So, and I just love yellow. Anyway, I've talked extensively in the past about the like math and swatching, and originally going to do it on a different needle size and then changing my mind and all of that. So like if you're interested in that, definitely go back 1 or 2 episodes. You can hear me talk more about that. But I ended up knitting, this is the smallest size, which based on my bust circumference, if I wanted the fit that she recommends, I would knit the second size. But because my gauge was off, because I'm using a heavier yarn, so this is a sport weight yarn and the pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn, I'm doing it on a slightly larger needle size as well, I am knitting the smallest size to get close to the same amount of ease. I did make a slight modification, so I cast on the number of stitches like for the neckline that the smallest size calls for, and then I knit it and I just kept going, and I skipped 1 raglan increase. So I still did like the number of rows that you were supposed to do so that my yoke was deep enough. And this sweater has tons of positive ease. This sweater is like probably too big for me and I should probably give it to someone else, but it's just really cozy, so I've kept it. But by the way, I did not mention, this is the vertical striped sweater, which is a pattern by Petite Knit. The colors, so the yarn for this one, I used Lichen and Lace in the Beach Glass colorway, which is I used their fingering weight base, and then I held with it Drops Alpaca, like Surrey Alpaca silk. I don't remember the color for that. It's like a light blue. I held those together. I don't remember which size I made. I don't remember any of the other specifics. If you have questions about that or are curious, you can definitely check out my Ravelry page on it, which maybe I included some information there about it. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the vertical striped sweater. I thought it was just like really cozy, and I really liked it with these pants today. So anyway, what I was showing you was that I did do the same number of rows. I didn't do an increase in the last set because I wanted to keep it a little bit smaller, because I think if I had done that last one, I would have gotten like 7 or 8 inches of positives, and this will give me like 6.5 or something. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, I did finish. I split for the sleeves. I've done, I think, 1 row or like 2 rows since splitting for the sleeves, so not very much at all. Is it too ambitious for me to say that my goal for next week is to have the body finished? Is that too ambitious? It's a week, and my brother and sister and my sister's boyfriend are visiting, and we'll be here that whole week. So, like, probably is too ambitious to say that I want to knit the whole body of a essentially fingering weight, half fisherman's rib sweater. Is that crazy? I don't know. We'll see. But I have been extremely monogamous, with the exception, actually, I guess that was before I last recorded. I don't know, except for the Striae hat, I don't think I've knit on anything else this week. I think I've just been focused on this project, so we'll see if I continue that. I did cast on a new design, my dad's sweater, which I talked about last week, if you're interested, and I also have on my needles a pair of socks for Nofis, my husband, and a summer top that I've spoken about the last couple of episodes, that I'm somewhat disenchanted on right now. So yeah, I'll probably just like keep plugging away at this. I would love to finish it by the end of the month. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, but I would really love to finish it by the end of the month, because that would get me back on track for doing 1 sweater per month, and it would also mean that I finished in time for Andrea Mowry's March to May knit along, which ends at the end of May. So if I could finish this, I think if I can finish the body this week, then I'll have, what, like 1 week left, and in that week I just have to do the sleeves. I can definitely do 2 sleeves in a week. I think doing the whole body in 1 week when I have family visiting, that is the ambitious part. I think 2 sleeves the following week is not too ambitious, but we'll see. I don't know. What other information? I am knitting this on a 2.5 US 2.5 needle. I think the pattern calls for a 2, so slightly off. Oh, Norman. Norman is down in his bed and he smacked the tripod. Let me straighten it out a little bit. There we go. That's hopefully better. So I guess even though Norman is not seen, you can't see him on the video, he's still making his presence known today. Okay. Yeah, so this is my work in progress, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so maybe it'll be kind of boring next week if I just work on that. I may not have a ton to share. I've been thinking about doing a Q&A. I don't know if I feel like I'm not interesting enough. Like, I don't have enough. Like, what kind of questions could I answer? I don't know, but I may drop a question box on my Instagram, so if you have questions for me, check that out probably next week. I will put in my stories a little question box, and then if you have any questions for me that you want me to answer, I could do a Q&A session on the podcast next week rather than doing a normal video podcast, a normal kind of show and tell of my whips and stuff, because I don't think I'm gonna have a ton to share. So I'll either do a Q&A or some sort of non-traditional episode, or I may just skip it. I'm not sure. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been working on. So other items, other non-crafting items that I have mentioned that Ben and Hannah and Jack are coming to visit. Ben is coming in today, and then Hannah is coming on Thursday, and Jack is coming on Friday. and we're gonna have a fun weekend together. I think we're gonna go to, Hannah said she wanted to see the store that I work, like Lomah, the store that I work at. So I think on Friday we are going to take the ferry and go. I'm not working that day, but we're gonna take the ferry and go and visit the store and go to Poulsbo and Winslow, like on Bainbridge Island, and just like see the store, have lunch, walk around, visit the shops and stuff. So I feel like that'll be really fun. And then on Saturday, I think we're gonna go try to get Flower Box donuts. If you guys have not heard of Flower Box, I don't remember if I talked about them on the podcast when we got them before. It is unbelievable. If you live in the Seattle area, you need to get these donuts. Just easily the best donuts I've had in my life, but like up there in terms of just like sweet dessert food ever. Just like some of the best like pastries or like any kind of dessert, any kind of sweet food I've had in my life. Just unbelievably good. They're like these brioche filled donuts, and they do different flavors. They switch them out like every couple weeks. And oh my gosh, this week they have a kimchi everything seasoning flavored donut. They also have a coconut one and a pineapple one, and I think like a green tea flavored one as well. I'm not sure. We'll probably get all the flavors, but I think we're going to try to do that. Maybe go to Pike Place, and also I think play some disc golf, because that's something that Nafis, my husband, and Ben and Jack really like to do, so we'll probably do that. I also just like really like to walk around outside. We'll take Norman and stuff too, so that'll be fun. And then on Sunday, I think we're gonna go do a big hike, and I think we're gonna make sourdough pizza, which we always do with visitors, and maybe make some homemade ice cream and like other desserts. And I think we may do like homemade pasta one night as well. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really fun. My sister and her boyfriend Jack moved to Madison, Wisconsin in January, and this is the first time in like our lives that my brother and sister and I all are living in different places. Since January, this is the first time we've been living all through, like none of us live in the same city. And so I'm really happy that we all get to come together and see each other again. I've been living far away from them for the last like 4 or 5 years, but they've been living in the same city. So now we all live apart, and so I'm really happy that we get to come together and see each other. We'll see each other in June as well, because we're all going to go visit Madison and go down to, I think I mentioned this on the podcast before, go down to Chicago and Milwaukee as well, and watch some baseball games and do some other like touristy things. So I think I actually got a recommendation. Someone mentioned some things that we could do in Milwaukee, but if any of you have ideas for like fun things to do in Chicago or in Milwaukee, let me know. And we're still kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do. So if you have ideas, let me know. Just like drop a comment or whatever, or you can DM me on Instagram. Yeah, otherwise, oh, I have a new plant. I've been sharing, well, when I buy plants, but also my mom bought me a plant subscription for Christmas last year. And so I've been sharing each month when I get my new plants in, and I got my May plant, and I have it here. I just repotted it today. Unfortunately, I did put it in a pot that I was using, I think, for my March plant, because my March plant died. It was like a bamboo. I don't remember if I shared this. It was like just, I didn't know bamboo grew like in soil like that. I don't know. I guess that makes sense. But anyway, my bamboo did not grow. It did not do well. It like immediately, as soon as it arrived, started dying, and then it died. So this new plant that I got is called White Butterfly. And the leaves have really fun kind of like variegation on them. There we go. So this is White Butterfly is the name of the plant. I don't know much about it. I just put it in this pot. So I'll put it in a new spot over by the window. But I think it's very pretty. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I made focaccia last week, and I think it wasn't done until after I finished recording, but it was so good, y'all. Like, it was one of those things, though, that was so much better fresh than it was, like, the next day. It was good after that, but the first day, it was so crispy and just so yummy. Oh, Norman is under the tripod. Okay, he made it through. It was so good. I made sourdough focaccia. And I'm excited to try again and just like add some other stuff in there. Like I want to do one with like I love olives. So like olives or like sun-dried tomatoes, shallots. This one I just did like garlic powder and rosemary. But I feel like there's some, sorry, you can probably hear Norman drinking water. There are probably some other like herbs and veggies that I could put in that would be really good. So I'm definitely going to try again. I don't know when, but I think it'd be a good thing to make when I know I'm going to eat more of it. Like if we're going to have people over or like, you know, just like for some sort of gathering or event so that we can eat it, more of it when it's fresh. So that is that. There have been some fun stuff, a couple fun items on Instagram recently. I did post some finished object photos of my sweaty Skittle sweater. After I finished blocking, I took some photos. I actually got some Skittles as, you know, a little photo prop. Oh, you guys can probably see Norman here. He came to visit. Do you want to come say hi? Do you want to? Oh my goodness. We have a little visitor. Hello. Yes, so I got some Skittles as a prop for my photos, and then I took some finished object photos and I posted those on Instagram, and that was really fun. Also, over at the La Mercerie Instagram account, you're done? You're done. Over on the La Mercerie Instagram account, Jess is doing little intro posts for us, just like the team at La Mercerie. So you can go see my intro post. It includes some fun questions that I had to answer, like my favorite ice cream flavor and where I would want to travel to, and one word that describes me, which is very difficult for me. It took me a long time to think of one word that describes me. I ended up going with my gut instinct, and those of you that follow along here probably know what that is. I guess I could leave you hanging and make you go check out on Instagram, but I won't. I'll just tell you the one word I chose that describes me is anxious. I was trying to think of something a little bit more, like, with a more traditionally positive connotation, and was like, no, let's just, full honesty moment, I'll just go ahead and say what I really feel. I did think of a title of my memoir, and which is a fun prompt, and also took me a long time to think. In general, I think, I just think about things for a long time. Think about things very thoroughly, I guess is what I would say. So it took me a while to think through my answers, but if you all have ideas about what you think the title of your memoir would be, I would be happy to hear those below. Let me know. Or if you have ideas for what you think the title of my memoir would be, that would be helpful as well. I guess I already answered, but if you want to see my answers, go check that out on the La Mercerie Instagram account. I'll include the Instagram handle below. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm so happy that you all joined me today. I feel so just blessed to be able to do this. Sorry, I'm looking over there. Randomly, I've been trying to get spring and summer candles. I love the Bath and Body Works 3-wick candles. They just, like, I've bought candles from, like, small businesses and, like, other folks before, or, like, single wick candles, and I love the way they smell, like when you smell the candle, but it just doesn't fill my space very well. Anyway, I really love the Bath & Body Works 3-wick candles, and so I was going to go get some new spring and summer scents yesterday, but they're like I don't know why I'm talking about this. They very often do sales where you can get them like buy one, get one free, or like $10 off or whatever. And so I like refuse to buy them for full price just because like I don't know, you can always get them on sale. So I had to go to the mall for something yesterday, and I went to Bath & Body Works and they didn't have a sale, and so I did not buy any candles, but I smelled all their spring and summer scents. I was like, oh, I want the spring and summer scents, but I have to wait until they have a sale to get them. But I'm out of all my spring and summer scented candles, and like I really think of scent as like such a seasonal thing. Like there are different scents for different seasons, and I don't like burning my fall or winter candles in spring. I just don't like it, but I am. Today I ran out and I really wanted to burn a candle. And so I am burning my favorite winter scent. My favorite Bath & Body Works winter scent is Frosted Cranberry. And I'm burning that today. It smells amazing, but it also smells like winter. It doesn't smell like May to me, but I have to accept. I have to accept that, I guess. So hopefully, cross your fingers for me that there's a sale soon so that I can get spring and summer candles. I'm not just smelling winter scents in May, but yeah, I feel like there's probably more I could say, but I don't know, that seems good. We discussed enough today. Yeah, I'm really excited about some of the things I'm making, and I know some of them are a little bit different, but it's bringing me a lot of joy, and you guys can probably tell how excited I am to see my family, and just, I think it's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a good couple weeks. Just, yeah, I'm feeling really good about where things are at right now. So thank you so much for joining me today, for listening in. I will maybe be back next week. If I am, it's probably gonna be something a little bit different. Let me know if you would want to do a Q&A. If you like have questions for me, I would answer questions about knitting and crafting, of course, about my life in general, about anything else. I don't know. I mean, there's probably some stuff I would like draw the line and not answer, but you know, if you guys have any questions for me, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you do lots of knitting and watch lots of baseball and have a great week. Bye.